other issues that cause point person and shit. I may not go through therapy for it anymore, but I still have those issues and stuff. Luckily, Tasha's been through that with me for so long and shit. Even at that point where we were about to depart, even if we would have departed, I would have had her back 100% because, you know, at that point it was, I didn't feel like you loved me anymore and shit. She said she saw that she loved me and shit when I cried so much. I actually almost died of a heart attack. Like, when she left me and shit, I almost had a heart attack. Right there.
Alright.
Damn.
We are live.
So, if she left me and shit, okay, with him being saying that he's live, I'm not gonna get into too much personal shit, except for mine. Dude, I legitly almost had a heart attack when Tasha left me. And stuff.
That's when you know you love somebody.
All bullshit aside, if she leaves me, I will die. And stuff. I'm not saying that so that she feels like she needs to be with someone else. If she finds somebody that's way better than me and that treats her kids way better and shit like that and stuff, and she decides she loves them and shit, and he proves that he is that type of person, I'm cool with him. And that's only if I see that he passes that point and shit. But at the same point and shit, I might not live that long. Cause when she was leaving me and shit, dude, I legitly almost died. I almost had a heart attack and died. And at that point, you know, when I wake up at night and shit and I dream that she's leaving me and shit, is the worst feeling in the world. You know, I thought that some of my past relationships, even the relationships I've been with a year or 2 years and shit, that I needed them and shit. And all these fucking thoughts of when I was younger and shit of needing someone and stuff, they're nowhere near compared to with me and Tasha and stuff. And the thing is and shit is, I can see a beautiful woman and I can see my wife, right? I'm gonna pick my wife all day long and shit because she is the most beautiful woman in my head. No matter the imperfections, damn, she was she was excellent, but no, all bullshit aside and shit, I fucking love my wife and shit, dog. She is, I wish she wasn't in the party because, you know, I talk about her when she's not in the party and shit, and you know, I say good shit when she's not in the party. No, I'm not drunk yet. I can drink this whole thing and shit, but usually I do, like, you can ask Lucy, do I talk good shit about her when I'm 100% sober? Do I talk good shit about her when she's not here?
Yes.
Exactly. He just said yes before you said I swear to God.
Put my shit up.
Like, yeah, dude, I'm not worried about it. I'm not streaming. Trey's streaming, so he's like, motherfucker. But anyway,
them kids are about to get yeeted.
Dude, you know how many times I feel like putting them in a fucking cannon and fucking yeeting them about fucking 500 miles away? You know how many times I'm like, I want to build a box and put them in it and ship them to China? No, I'll... Give me a second, dog. I'm about to check my fucking house and shit. Wait. Hold up. Just be quiet for a second. You know this house that I live in and shit was actually a house I grew up in when I was a kid and shit, and not grew up as lived in it, but I used to be sent here when I was like 3 and 4 years old to be babysitted in this house. This house might not be the finest house ever. Shit, it really might not be the finest house, but I remember this house growing up in it. Like, for instance, I'm gonna walk through a house, you might get cut out, and I'll yell whenever that shit happens, but this, and I know you can't see, but I'm gonna just say this, okay? This room used to be my brother and his wife's fucking bathroom and shit. This used to be their closet. You actually see my house, Lucy, so you already know what I'm saying. this bedroom and shit, it used to be my brother and my wife's my brother and my brother's wife's bedroom. Yeah, I know, I fucked up on that. Don't laugh. This kitchen, all bullshit aside, I love this fucking kitchen and shit. It has an island and shit. I mean, you've seen it, Lucy. It has an island, it has the curb and shit. I fucking really love this kitchen and shit. This house, I love this fucking house so fucking much. I grew up in this house more than I grew up in my own house.
Damn.
Like, I grew up in this house more than I grew up in the other house and shit, because when I grown up from the time that I was like 2 years old all the way, I was actually potty trained in this house. This house has so much sentimental value and shit, and while the rest of them was like, no, this house don't have much meaning, it's a house, I actually love this house. I don't want to leave this house. I really love this house. I even told Tasha, dude, you can ask her and shit, that I told her I wanted to move this house down to where we were planning on building our house and shit, and instead of building a house, I wanted to move this house and extend it and make it bigger and shit and live in this house. I'm not fucking lying. I love this fucking house. This is the first house that I moved into that I was happy, and regardless, that's the imperfections with the fake shitty tiles and the bullshit that I have to deal with and shit. I really love this house. Yeah, and Trey, for instance, when I asked you, did you like your house that you're living in? That's the reason why I asked you. If it's a house that you look at and shit, and it has a whole bunch of imperfections and shit, and you're like, this is the house I want to live in for the rest of my life, then that's the house.
Yep.
You know? I grew up in this house, and all bullshit aside, I can't think of any other place that I want to live in. And shit, I'm a little jealous that whenever I remodel this house and make it perfect, and when me and Tasha builds a house that's like twice the size and looks twice as good, like way better than this house, I'm still jealous of whoever's living in this house, which it should be Jamud Richards and shit. I'm really fucking jealous. Jamud. I call him Jamud. Spartan, yes, Spartan. Spartan should be living in this fucking house and shit by that time. If everything goes to plan and he still takes the job and shit, he'll be living in this house. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm super jealous that he'll be living in this house because I love this house. But at the same time, he's my boy. I want him to have a job that's gonna fucking take care of him, his fucking ex-wife, and his child. And you can ask Sasha, I even started coming up with ideas that we can fucking aggravate them, but at the same time, fucking give Javea the best living experience here in this house and shit. Because knowing Spartan now, Spartan's my boy. I'm not gonna lie. If there's someone else that I have their back 100%, it's Spartan. Every time that I did something and shit, Spartan did not fucking question what I said and shit. Spartan would fucking follow me into hell and back and shit if I asked him without any fucking question. I'm not fucking lying. If there's fucking loyalty, if you're showing loyalty and shit, he is the example of fucking loyalty. And I fucking got his fucking back and shit. All bullshit aside, if somebody fucking talks shit and stuff, like fucking aimed at his fucking daughter or anything like that and shit, came at him any way or form, I'm right there. I'm gonna have his fucking back. He black, but he's my nigga. And shit. Like, that's my homie and shit. I'm a little jealous that he'll be living in this house because I really love this house. And that's the only reason. But at the same time, I wanted him to come and work for me and shit because I wanted to pay him something that he deserves. You know? I wanted to give him a job that he deserves. Just like I want to get in business with you and me and you work together because I want to give you something you deserve. At the same time, I want to get what I deserve. You know?
Fair enough.
The people that shows me 100% loyalty, I want to give them the world and everything. Like, I want to give them the world and everything in it. No pun on fucking Scarface and shit. I want to give them everything that I possibly can. Like, if I got a fucking sapphire that will worth fucking $10 million, I want to break that bitch into pieces or sell it and fucking split it up between us. And shit. I want the best for you and Allie. I want the best for me and Tasha. I want the best for me and fucking... Or, I want the best for you and Allie. I want the best for me and Tasha. I want the best for fucking... Spartan and his family and shit. I want the best for fucking Garland and Casey and shit. But at the same time, I need to know that when it comes down to it, we're all working towards the same goal, and that's greatness.
Yeah.
And shit. I know you're pushing for it because I talked to you and we've been talking about it and shit, and you're fucking coming up with different ideas to reach greatness. So I know you're already thinking in that spot. You want greatness and shit. Whether it's your fucking name or not, you want greatness for your family. And that's the important thing. I want greatness for me and my family. Spartan and shit, when I talked to him and shit, he didn't fucking give a fuck about any of it and shit and stuff. He didn't care for any of that stuff. The only thing he wanted was a good enough job that he could take care of Jabea and his fucking ex-wife and take care of his family and be comfortable. And shit, that motherfucker wants to live in a home, deal with a home and shit and stuff like that, and feel comfortable. That's his whole thing. He wants to be comfortable, give Jabea stuff that he can, but at the same time, he's not aiming too high, he's not aiming low. He wants to get by in life, but give her everything she wants. At the same time, I think he deserves way more. And shit, he could tell me something and shit, and I think he needs to go up some scales and shit. So all bullshit aside, if you back me 100%, all you have to say, if you back me 100% when I say this, and shit, if you back me 100% when I say this, is I think that once we get this shit started, that we need to start pumping him up, even if it's just words. But I think we should pump him up and get him pushing for higher things. And stuff. We don't have to fucking put money on it and shit. I'll put money on it and shit, but regardless, we don't have to put money on it and shit. The least we can do, if you like I said, if you agree with me, is we should pump him up and shit and make him know that he deserves way more in life than what he's getting.
I feel a lot of people deserve a lot more in life.
I feel
than
you,
what they're
dude.
given.
If I was a billionaire and shit, I'd be fronting motherfuckers and shit. I'd be like a fucking bank that never ends. You know, if I'm making fucking $5 million a day and shit, or whatever a day, I'd be helping motherfuckers. But I don't make that money. The least we can do and shit is bump up some people and shit. And what we can hope from that is that it slowly increases into a better life. That's all we can do. But at the same time, take care of our family and the people we love and shit, you know?
Agreed.
And stuff. So you back somebody, I'm gonna back you 100% and stuff. But at least what I'm saying shit is when it comes to Jamon, Spartan, whatever, whether it's words or not, because he's gonna be working for me, so you know I'm already gonna pay him well. The more homes I put out and shit, I'm gonna pay him more than what I pay anybody else. But at the same time, so we don't have to worry about giving him money to get higher. But what we should do and stuff, you should really meet him. One day I'm gonna get him, I'm gonna get you, we're all gonna hang out. You're gonna see how much of an awesome person he is. And shit, but all bullshit aside, the least we can do is say, hey man, you deserve more in life and you know, like fucking pump him up, you know, you feel me?
Yep.
No, it wasn't. I fucking love that guy and shit. He's fucking awesome. And something else I'm gonna do later on and shit is I'm gonna get these shirts out, I'm gonna get these hoodies out, I'm gonna get these hats out, I'm gonna get these t-shirts out. I want to really get the Kings community out there, you know?
That's what I've been doing, man. I've been fucking. When we're not playing, I going to group things for Rebirth, doing this shit, and man, I've had people. I had 3 fucking people the other night sent me a friend request and add me because I literally pulled all 3 of them through a fucking Warzone win. It was great, dude. I was on fire that fucking day. I think I had like 17 fucking kills that match. I was lit. I was like,
the only thing that we haven't forgot you, dog. We fucking back in the corner as well. don't listen to her. When you say something fucked up, dog, I don't fucking back your corner. You said something fucked up one time and shit. You said that you didn't remember and shit, and you haven't fucking pulled that shit ever since and shit. So, dog, like, I'm not even gonna fucking lie. Trey's right here in the fucking party. I'm gonna say it right now and shit. He said something fucked up one time, dog, that I was extremely fucking pissed. I was fucking out ready to fucking flip fucking shit. I even told him about it later on and shit while Tasha had him muted. He actually apologized and shit, say he didn't remember saying it and shit like that. And he
Yeah, I just watch what I say now.
Like, and that's the whole thing and shit is when somebody says, hey man, you said something fucked up, he said, okay, I might have said something fucked up and shit, I'm not 100%, but I'm gonna fucking take the extra step. You know, it's that extra responsibility and shit that actually means the fucking world.
Royale.
And shit. Whether you wanna fucking admit that you said something or not and shit, but taking that extra responsibility and shit is 100% important. Like all bullshit stuff. And so, and Trey has fucking stepped up with it and shit. He's fucking, and he's also went under my belt and shit afterwards and shit. And he's did better and shit since I fucking played 1v1s with him. And I'm not gonna lie, I
You
bragged
stole my
on him and shit.
kill.
And I'm still gonna fucking brag on him and shit. He did fucking good and shit. I'm proud of fucking Trey. Trey was busting motherfuckers and shit.
Alright, I'm putting a plate on.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Coming to y'all.
10 down.
There's nothing I can do.
I down one. I got a sniper aiming at me.
I got killed by a fucking cheese McGriddle mill. That's far.
Gas is moving.
Guy up on the roof.
Your teammate was sent to the gulag.
No,
They'll
Trey-
fight for a chance to
Trey's
redeploy.
my boy. Me and Trey get along really well.
Like,
Your
I thought
teammate
that
got
as well
proper sorting.
and shit,
Send
like
in
on
a
the
mark.
first fucking time and shit, I met him and shit, he said something fucked up and shit, but then he
Teammate
straightened
redeployed
out and
to
he
the
really
AO.
he really put himself on that next level and shit, and stuff, and, you know, when somebody fucks up and shit and you say, hey, there's only one way to redeem yourself,
Friendly loadout drop on the way.
and shit, and you know, rarely anybody redeems
Teammates in the
themselves
gulag.
afterwards and
If they
shit,
survive,
Trey really redeemed himself. He didn't fucking front or anything like that.
Trey,
He
keep
was
pushing
like,
this way.
Yep. He's coming toward me.
You're patched up.
Your teammate is redeploying. Stand
I'm about to
by.
get fucked.
Contact! Contact!
God damn it.
Damn. Good
tried,
try,
man.
bro. Good try. Good try.
I held them at bay for a while.
It's all good. I shouldn't have jumped
To
down.
the gulag. If you survive,
you go, man.
freedom.
I give it my best, and that's
You're
all I
almost
can
left.
do.
Get it done.
oh, my mic was muted.
Win here and you
But
return to
anyways,
the front line.
you know when
You
somebody
lose, your
says that
fight is
they'll
over.
redeem themselves and shit, or when somebody
You're
has
up,
the
soldier.
feeling that they're gonna
Now
redeem
go
themselves
sort this
after
fucker
saying something
out.
fucked up and shit.
Looking a little
Fuck!
worse for
Anyways,
wear.
so
You're heading
Trey
back to
really
base.
fucking pushed the envelope with that and shit
25
because when I told him what I didn't fucking like and shit, which I also told Lucy the day it happened, Jester also knows about it, multiple people know about it, but when I told Trey about it and shit, he fucking kinda, like, he took that shit and he went a whole different leaf and shit. And if there was anybody that, you know, there's a lot of people that say, I'll keep that in mind and I won't do it again, and they will do it again. Trey kind of like took that shit and he said, I'm not gonna do it again, and that motherfucker did a whole 360 and
Yeah,
shit,
man.
and he rocked it and shit. So if anybody that I ever met fucking earned redemption and shit was Trey and stuff like that. Like, I fucking, like, all bullshit aside, when Trey said what he said, I despised him. I was like, I even told people, I was like, I'll still play with Trey and shit, but I'm gonna hold it
was
with a fucking
different,
grain of
though.
salt.
It'd be like if I remembered what I said. It's been a while, so
I mean, I'll tell you and shit because it really pissed me off and shit, so I'll still remember it and shit. But what happened and shit is Tasha said something and she went, and you're like, ooh, I like hearing it like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, Trey, fucking stop it. And then you're like, oh, Sparky's caught up in his feelings. I'm about to mute you because you're caught up in your feelings. Or in some form of that way. And I was like, you know, I was biting my fucking teeth and shit because my wife made like a moan noise and shit. And you're like, ooh. And shit like that. So,
Yeah, learn from my mistake.
But all bullshit aside, whenever you figured out, like whenever you said something fucked up towards Tasha and shit, and you took that and you flipped it completely around. You're actually, all bullshit aside, I'm not gonna lie, you're the one and only person that has took something that I said and flipped it around where I can fucking trust you.
Yeah.
And shit, everybody else and shit, when I say that shit and stuff, they kind of like half-ass it and fucking zigzag it and shit, and then fucking fuck up later on. You have like legitly take it, turned it around and shit, and like I'm fucking here, so I'm 100. Like before, I was like, you know, grinching my fucking teeth when I played with you and stuff. But it's like I'm gonna give them a chance because. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a fucking chance and shit. We'll see where this goes and shit. Because I give second chances all the time. And you just turned that whole fucking page and shit. And it was amazing. And shit. So, you got my fucking support 100%.
I appreciate that, man. Like I said, I don't like making, like burning bridges and shit. So, if I fuck up on my end, then I want to make it right.
And I'm gonna say this right now and shit. You're Jester's friend. So, I'm gonna say this right now and shit. Jester has said some fucked up shit and stuff. And,
That's
you know,
true.
I gave him multiple chances and stuff. I'm still giving him chances. There's tons of people that's like, I don't want to give him no more chances. But I'm holding out thinking, you know, maybe he might turn it around. You know?
Yeah.
And shit. And so far, he's been zigzagging.
Like, yeah.
I'm not talking shit about him. I'm just saying.
No,
I'm really
I
hoping
agree.
that
Like,
he'll.
you can only give people so many chances.
Like, I got recordings and shit and stuff, and it's enough recordings to kick him out of the fucking community and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm like, and these are rules that I said I will not fucking. This is chances that are, these are fucking situations I said I would not fucking give people chances on. But Jester was in the military, right?
Yeah. Air Force.
Yeah, Air Force. But regardless, anybody in the military and shit, I got a feel for them and shit. I tried to join the military, they wouldn't let me. And stuff. So I'm giving him that. I'm giving him a push of a chance and shit. All bullshit aside, I'm not gonna fucking lie to you and shit and stuff. I liked Darren when I first met him. Then after a while, he just started becoming a fucking dick and just been coming too much and shit. I legitly fucking told him, like when me and him was in a party and shit, I told him, I said, dude, you are getting a little fucking too heavy for your fucking head.
He just.
And he said, oh, I'm sorry and shit. I didn't mean to and stuff like that. I said, you jumped out of party because I muted you because you weren't playing the same game when I was doing the stream and I didn't want to hear you talk when we're doing King's Custom. You know the rule that when you're dead, you shut the fuck up, and I didn't want you to interrupt. And he fucking was like, yeah, I understand. But before that, he was talking shit about it and about me to his dad.
Yeah,
now I was
that.
cool enough to fucking put all that shit to a side and shit. All I know is that he was talking shit about that and about me because his dad told me. Jester told me.
Yeah.
And shit. He said he was trying to cool off Darren and shit because Darren was talking mad shit and stuff. No. At that point, at being the King's community leader, we don't need toxicity like that, but at the same time, I was willing to shove that to the side because Darren's like, what, 15, 16 years old?
Yeah.
He still needs room to mature. This is why we don't let people in the community that's too young, because of this shit reason. But at the same time, I believe Darren can push further. So my whole thing is I'm giving people chances and stuff. And I heard the rumors and shit. I heard people tell me that, hey, this person said that. I got the screen videos of what some people said and has tried to sabotage the community. But at the same time, it's not working. So I even told Lucy this. I'm gonna give it like 1 to 3 things that's gonna happen. They're gonna learn it's not working, they're just gonna give up on it, and they're just gonna enjoy the King's community. 2, they're gonna learn it's not working, they're gonna flip shit and show their colors, and they're gonna get booted. 3 is they're gonna continue trying when shit gets rough. I'm not gonna lie. I've been a leader of communities multiple times, the same community and shit like that, whether it was under a different name or whatever and shit. And I'm not gonna lie, I appreciate the loyalty. When you think about it, don't think of it as loyalty to me. Think of it as loyalty to all the members in the community. Because all bullshit aside, you don't need loyalty to just me to be a King's member and shit. You should believe of loyalty to your members, like the members that's in here and shit. I'm not gonna lie, Lucy is the enforcer. If he hears something fucked up that's against the rules, he has the right to say something, clip it, or fucking make a quick decision of putting you on trial right then and there.
And that's how it should be. Like, you should be held responsible for what you say.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time and shit, when I started it, I didn't believe that we needed this many rules and shit. But people started passing those rules and started fucking doing that shit. And I was like, you know what? We need rules. Me and Godsu came up with the rules together. We put Lucy as an enforcer and shit because there's a lot of people that we couldn't, you know. Lucy is one person and shit. I know I have loyalty to Lucy. I believe he has loyalty to me. But everyone else and shit, when he became enforcer, he had loyalty to nobody else and shit because he hasn't played with anybody else. So we figured with his mutuality that he would be the perfect enforcer. And plus, he's fucking outspoken and shit. So
damn right, I'll fucking call your ass out.
He was the perfect enforcer. Whether he tells you or not and shit, he's gonna tell me if something fucked up was said and shit. So, I'm gonna trust Lucy 100%. There has been someone, or should I say multiple people, already know who they are, but I got no proof. There's some people that's trying to cause trouble into King's community and shit, and jump out and create their own community. I already know who it is and shit. I was already told by multiple members who it is. And shit, I even have multiple members say, hey, this person says that you're not good at leading a community and shit like that, wants me to join them and shit when they leave and stuff. I'm like, just play along and shit. Let's see where this goes. I'm playing cat and mouse at this point. Either they drop it and we all live happy as the King's community and shit, or they get booted and they realize it wasn't worth it. You know?
And if I find them, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I find out who it is, their ass will be put on trial right then and there.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. Through the 4 of us and shit, I'm not gonna lie and shit, I haven't heard Lucy said anything. I haven't heard that my wife said anything about me. Even though I know she says shit about me and shit, but not about the community and stuff, so we're good. Trey,
Hey, speak for yourself.
I've heard like slightly little bit of shit, but it wasn't really in tune to the community and the people in it and shit. So if you said something about the people and the community and shit, I haven't heard it. But regardless and shit, I haven't heard anything bad about you saying anything and shit. There's only like 2 people that I heard something bad about. And I'm just waiting for them to straighten up and shit, or for them to leave and create their own community. Like, all bullshit aside, dude, I wouldn't mind if they came up to me and said, hey man, this ain't the community for me, I want to start my own community. I would work with them. We would be partner communities. But they didn't approach that situation like that, you know? They approached that situation as in, I want to secretly attack and destroy the whole community, which I'm not cool with. Because at this point, the community ain't about me. The community is about Lucy, Trey, my wife, Beefy, Billy, fucking, it's about everybody, you know? When you run a community, you don't need to think about yourself, you need to think about everybody. And that's why I made the rules the way I made it, you know?
Amen.
If it affects a whole community, it goes into a whole community vote, which we haven't had one yet. If it's a situation that don't affect everybody and shit, I take it to high council. If it's a booting situation, I take it to high council. Now, whether I take it to high council and shit, if you have information on a certain person, report it so that I can tell what they're doing and shit. And so what they're saying, because I got clips of it.
Guys,
But am I
this is
taking
what the
it to-
Kings community is all about. Trust
But I'm not
and
taking
loyalty,
it
bro.
to. I'm not taking it to the council and shit. Like, you can ask fucking Lucy. Beefy asked me who said something and shit, and I wouldn't tell him because I'm not ready to give up on that person yet. And I even told Lucy I'm not ready to give up on some of these people that talk shit about me.
Yeah.
Lucy said at that point and shit he would have dropped them, but at the same time, you can ask Lucy. I'm very understanding and shit, and I'm not ready to give up on them just yet. I know they talk shit.
I also know though that there's a point where people start talking shit about. So I used to have my own community. I used to run my own
Yes, he
shit.
did. I fucking was a part of his group and shit on Destiny and shit. Even though I've run in King's community, I was part of his group and shit.
And I've had people that respected me. I've had people that were loyal to me. And then I had this like few that fucking talk shit about me behind my back.
Pandora's box. I'm sorry.
Yep. And and
Fuck Pandora,
I didn't know.
dog.
I didn't know, man. And
We're gonna end this.
Well, his
right here
friend-
while we're ahead.
His-